I'm going to recognize myself for 5 minutes. Thanks to the witnesses for being patient. I know it's been a long morning, afternoon. I just wanted to dig a little bit deeper into the CFPB, and the questions for Ms. Owen. And I know other members have kind of, talked a little bit about this morning. So Section 1071 rule requires lenders that make a certain number of small business loans to collect and report to the CFPB a total of, there's 80 plus, 81 separate fields, data fields. And it all applies obviously to the loan, so it's a gathering of information, right? Seems excessive, which is why I'm bringing it up. But as I understand it, a lender is required to comply with this rule if they make at least 100 small business loans. Arbitrary number. Ms. Owen, can you please kind of explain, or can you tell us any more information on the enormous data collection that's happening and what impact that has on small businesses, community banks, and the credit unions that serve them?
Absolutely. Thank you very much for your question. No doubt, trying to collect those 81 data points from a customer is going to be very difficult. Often they come in with basic information. We use financial education to help educate our small businesses and end up giving them a list of items that we need for them to bring back. So now we're going to have to add an additional amount of data that they will need to collect. And often these customers are very private, that they really don't want to disclose some of the information. We've had them often tell us, it's none of your business. And when we tell them we have to ask these questions, they often don't like it.
Yeah, let me interrupt you there, because it's kind of the next follow-up question that I had. Because 1071 requires CFPB to publish the data it gets from lenders every year, that's kind of what you're referring to as kind of this otherwise undisclosed information that small business people are uncomfortable with. If you include that information, whether the lender denied a small business loan or whether or not they're granted it, right? What steps do you think the CFPB could be doing to protect that information and the privacy that otherwise small businesses are not really offered any guarantee that that's going to happen? Is that correct?
Yes, we're very concerned about the release of private information into the marketplace and what it can mean for those individuals. As I've said before, it's not going to be difficult to determine whether or not someone was approved or denied a loan, especially in a small community where there are only so many businesses, especially of a particular industry. So there are great concerns there.
Thank you very much. To Ms. Rainey, kind of switching topics a little bit. Currently, credit unions, whether they're farm credits, fintechs, they're not considered competitors for the purpose of the concentration analysis done under the bank mergers, of which Congressman Barr and I have been working on a number of pieces of legislation on that front to make that more streamlined and easier. Can you discuss how this makes the bank mergers, especially in rural markets, kind of creates this artificially concentrated area? And it's misleading, I think. Would you agree?
It's absolutely misleading because it's not painting a picture of the full market. And so when you look at the other financial services providers, and if you exclude credit unions and farm credit, especially in rural communities, that does not tell the picture. And it, I think, hampers some of the opportunity for some of the smaller banks to merge and work together.
Thank you. The last thing I just wanted to touch on, I guess, is again, going back to Ms. Owen, so community bank lending to farmers and ranchers is critical. And we hear, especially from obviously a number of members that either have been or have some type of history on that issue, whether they're on the Financial Services Committee or they may be on other locally served community boards that are focused on farms and ranchers. Can you tell us again that access to credit for Rural Economy Act, it's a bill that we've been working on, how this could be implemented and how this could be very important, I think, to those communities that are kind of watching what Congress is doing right now.
Yes, it will lower the cost of financing for our farmers and ranchers, the agriculture industry, rural communities, as well as allow additional access to credit for them, which is vitally important. They are in need of this.
Thank you very